We're talking about wildfires. It's not local news, but it's important news. And climate change making wildfires worse. And I read an article by National Geographic earlier. It was written in 2013. It was titled "Why Intense, Large Wildfires Are the New Normal." And over the past 7 years since that article's been written, it's been happening more and more and more. So it is normal now. So let's talk. Can you briefly discuss the potential impacts that climate change can have on wildfires, making them worse?
Yeah, sure. So wildfires need a couple ingredients, right? They need really hot weather and they need dry conditions. And so what we're seeing, year after year after year is that temperatures are increasing. NOAA just released some data. August 2020 was the second warmest August on record for the entire globe. California just had its hottest August on record. This year, we've seen multiple new temperature records being set. Just a couple weeks ago, LA County recorded its highest temperature ever recorded, 121 degrees. Death Valley, California set a temperature record, 130 degrees in August. So we're seeing these really high temperatures continue. The last 6 years have all been the warmest 6 years that we have on record. It's getting warmer. So that's half of it. And then you need dry conditions. If you look at the US Drought Monitor, the West has been dry for months on end. Oregon, for example, you have to go back to last December to find dates where parts of Oregon weren't really in a drought. Since then, they've either been in moderate, severe, and now, which is the case, extreme drought conditions for a large portion of the state. Same with California. They've been in pretty bad drought conditions since March.
So hot weather and drought, we're seeing that now. How is climate change making that stuff worse? I know, obviously, warmer weather is going to make for more dry weather, but it's also going to make seasonal fluctuations worse. It's going to make storms worse. So how is climate change making those two things worse?
Right. So climate change, we're emitting carbon dioxide at unprecedented levels. Carbon dioxide is greenhouse gas, so the more we put into the atmosphere, the warmer it's going to get. That's what we've been seeing. We've known this for a long time. That's what's happening. When it's warmer, evapotranspiration increases. So the soils and the plants, they dry up more quickly when it's warmer. So if we're causing it to be warmer with climate change, we're also drying it out. Climate change is also causing changes to seasonal weather patterns. For example, just this last week, Colorado had a swing from 90 degrees down to snow in the matter of a day. That was a result of a meandering jet stream, which some research shows could be a result of the increased warming in the Arctic. The Arctic is warming faster than any other place on Earth, and which could cause changes to the jet stream, which we've been seeing.
So the wildfires are horrible, burning thousands and thousands and thousands of acres, displacing thousands of people who shouldn't be living there in the first place, but that's a different conversation. We're starting to see smoke make its way into our area. I know meteorologists in Wisconsin and in Michigan have posted these really cool pictures from their sky cameras that they have of hazy conditions, and it's going to make it here by about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So how is that happening, and what sort of results should we expect from it?
Yeah, so generally the circulation of the atmosphere over the United States brings wind and from the West Coast eastwards towards the East Coast. That's the general pattern. Though, of course, many different variations locally and whatnot. So all that fire burning in California, Oregon, Washington, it's being carried by the atmosphere across the United States. So what we're going to see here is a decrease in air quality due to particulate matter in the air. But more visibly, we're going to see some really intense sunsets. We've been seeing pictures like this across social media of this orange glow, even during the day. Now, it won't be quite anything like that, I'm sure, but we should get some pretty colorful sunsets as a result.
And I'm excited to see what it does to us. It's hard to find. It's hard to find smoke products. There's not a whole lot of them, especially ones where you can actually see it. You can get on goes. You can
Yeah.
see smoke there, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
Trying to think. So, unfortunately, the climate change aspect to wildfires is actually quite simple: hot weather, dry conditions, more fire. So, what sort of changes to our meteorological lives that we're going to see based on climate change over the next 10 or so years, 10, 20 years? I know that's a short time scale, but we can't predict out after we're dead. Doesn't make any sense. So what some changes are that climate scientists are looking for?
Yeah, so short term, we're gonna see continued temperature increases. But as a result of that, what we're gonna see is more extremes. So the likelihood for an extreme heat wave in the Northeast is gonna be more likely over the next 15, 20, 30 years because our temperatures are increasing. High impact weather events like torrential downpours, flash flooding. We might even see an increase in drought. That's my area of specialty studying at Cornell. Increased temperatures plus a relatively small change in overall precipitation is what's projected by the climate models. And what we're seeing is that the models are showing a potential increase in spring and summer droughts because during those seasons, precipitation will be suppressed, drier soils, hotter conditions causing drought.
And which we have seen. We've seen drought in this area, slightly more south than Cornell. I think we're Schuyler County relative to Cornell, east, west. We've seen drought. I did a story about Montour Falls and how it wasn't really a falls anymore.
Yep. I drove by Tacanic not too long ago, and it was a trickle when it's usually a gushing waterfall.
And I haven't been up there since. We have gotten some rain. The abnormally dry on the drought monitor has shrunk a little bit, but
yeah,
we are
not in New England though.
Not up there. Not
No, all of New England is in a pretty bad drought right now.
Oh, that's not good. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss about climate change or wildfires or the combination of the two subjects?
Yeah, I think people like to sensationalize, so it's important to recognize that climate change isn't causing these wildfires, right? It's incredibly likely that these wildfires would have taken place regardless. But what's happening is that we're enhancing them, right? So we're causing temperatures to dry out, or I'm sorry, causing temperatures to increase, which is causing the landscape to dry out. And it's just the recipe to make these wildfires bigger, which we've seen. Right now, the biggest wildfire in California's history is raging. The top three biggest in California's history are all, three of the top five rather, are from this year.